All right, we're reading about monthly debt obligations this week, and we've talked about these three in the previous video. So let's talk about today court-ordered assignment of debt. Certain debts. Oh, let's see right here. Court-ordered assignment of debt. When a borrower has outstanding debt that was assigned to another party by court order, such as under a divorce decree or separation agreement, and the creditor does not release the borrower from liability, the borrower has a contingent liability. Okay, interesting. The lender is not required to count this contingent liability as part of the borrower's recurring monthly debt obligations. Wow, that surprises me. The lender is not required to evaluate the payment history for the assigned debt after the effective date of the assignment. Wait a minute, am I reading this wrong? The lender cannot disregard the borrower's payment history for the debt before its assignment. When a borrower has outstanding debt that was assigned to another party by court order, such as a divorce decree, the creditor does not release the borrower from liability, the borrower has a contingent liability. The lender is not required to count this contingent liability as part of the borrower's recurring monthly debt obligations. That's great news. Interesting. Very fascinating. Okay, you might want to note that. If you ever have an issue where a underwriter is arguing with you about that, you're going to want to go to here, B36-605. Debts paid by others. Certain debts can be excluded from the borrower's By the way, my underwriters have almost never bring up something that they're wrong about. But when they do, and I bring something to their attention, they get permission and they keep moving, and it doesn't shut down the deal. Being able to talk to an underwriter is a huge value to loan officers like myself. Debts paid by others. Certain debts can be excluded from the borrower's recurring monthly obligations in the DTI ratio. When a borrower is obligated on a non-mortgage debt but is not the party who is actually repaying the debt, the lender may exclude the monthly payments from the borrower's recurring monthly obligations. This policy applies whether or not the other party is obligated on the debt, but is not applicable if the other party is an interested party to the subject transaction, such as the seller or real estate agent. Non-mortgage debts include installment loans, student loans, revolving accounts, lease payments, alimony, child support, and separate maintenance. See below for a treatment of payments due under a federal income tax installment agreement. When a borrower is obligated on a mortgage debt but is not the party who is actually repaying the debt, the lender may exclude the full monthly housing expense, principal, interest, taxes, interest, and what is that, association fees? From, I don't know what the A is. That's weird to me. Principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And then the A. I'm guessing that's associational fees. From the borrower's recurring month debt obligations. If the party making the payments is obligated on a mortgage debt, there are no delinquencies in the most recent 12 months, and the borrower is not using rental income from the applicable property to qualify. I took the time to just pause the video there and check. PITIA, it stands for Pacific Islands Tuna Industry Association. So I guess when you owe something to the tuna industry, you've got, no, I'm kidding. It's principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and association, as I guess. Principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and other assessments. Other assessments or association. There we go. Okay. All right, so back to this clip we got to here. In order to execute non-mortgage or mortgage debts from the, in order to exclude non-mortgage or mortgage debts from the borrower's DTI ratio, the lender must obtain the most recent 12 months canceled checks or bank statements from the other party making the payments that document a 12-month payment history with no delinquent payments. When a borrower is obligated on a mortgage debt, regardless of whether or not the other party is making the monthly mortgage payments, the referenced property must be included in the count of financed properties. Okay, so when we're talking about the number of properties, got to include it. But if somebody else has been making the payments, you can exclude it from the DTI. This is valuable information. Glad to know it. Glad I'm reading some mortgage guidelines. Oh, by the way, if I am, here is who I am. I'm Josh with Churchill Mortgage. And of course, I would love to talk to you. If you're looking for a great mortgage lender, great company to work with, consider me.